So with these videos, I'm going to try to do what I would have been doing in the face-to-face class and show different examples other than the ones in the book and my take on what the book's talking about. So first of all, I'm going to talk about compositional unity, and this is a piece by Mondrian. It's called Broadway Boogie Woogie from 1942 to 43. This painting is Mondrian's reaction to moving to New York City in 1940 and being exposed to the city life and music that he now heard. He tried to capture the essence of the city and the rhythm of the streets moving with the traffic. He unified this all with a grid and color. He used the most primary colors: red, blue, and yellow, gray, and white. So red, blue, and yellow are primary colors, and then the gray is a chromatic gray, which is made with red, blue, and yellow and white. And when you put chromatic gray next to a color, it either leans towards it or away from it, depending if it's warm or cool. So that's kind of an interesting little trick he was using in there. So then the whole painting's been harmonized with his limited use of color and line. So in this piece by Picasso, it's called Three Musicians from 1921. He's doing kind of a similar thing with color and shape, but it's more like a puzzle and fitting those pieces together. So there is a lot of horizontal and vertical lines, but he's playing with that idea. And how do those shapes fit together? And then the color, seemingly simple. He's using red, blue, and yellow again, but then there's some derivatives of those mixtures, like those browns and yellows. And the blue might not directly relate to that red, but it relates to that brown because it took blue and orange mixed together to make that brown. So to simplify this idea of the grid, showing Morandi's Natura Morta from 1939, and he was obsessive about painting still life. This guy would spend weeks picking the objects and the tablecloth and the placement and everything. And he would take the bottles and the objects and paint them flat colors to remove their original identity and not have labels and things on them. And then he'd arrange them in this way that evokes medieval Italian architecture, the buildings you see out there. So again, there is this underlying grid used for compositional unity here. And I just threw this in Photoshop and drew some lines on it to show you, like, see how the shoulders of those bottles all line up and then the tops all line up specifically. The center of the canvas is divided by that one bottle in the middle, and all the bottoms of the bottles line up. I know it's all kind of redundant, but I think this image really drives the point home. And you can go really nuts connecting every vertex and axis and center point and top and bottom and horizontal. And it's just the more of these connections you have, the more stable your piece is. And I never really understood this concept fully until I actually took a piece of tracing paper and put it over a master painting and drew these lines and found out what all these connections were.